We're going to tear our eyes away from the current trash fire that is the burning beginnings of the civil war in the Conservative Party, because trust me, I have my pick of articles of what went wrong in the Conservative Party. Trust me, we'll be going back to a couple of those over this week, so don't worry about that. But we are now, I think, very interested in, of course, what is happening foreign policy wise. David Lammy this week went to go and visit some EU countries. And that, I think, really, really sets the stage of what the direction, especially, particularly David Lammy, where he sees Britain's sort of future sort of interest lie, and the direction that the UK itself is going to go. And one of the fun things has been is like the Express and all the other right-wing newspapers absolutely freaking out that Brexit is about to be overturned. And interestingly enough, they've used a comment from the German Foreign Ministry. I'm going to love, by the way, all the people in chat. Whenever we've used comments or talked about some of the things, I can't wait for the people in those comments to be like, who is this random person saying this? Well, actually, it's the German Foreign Ministry, because the German Foreign Ministry actively said that it was looking into and speaking with David Lammy about realignment with the EU. You know, once again, just another bit of evidence that, we will be able to, I think, get a lot of stuff done over the next couple of years. And this is why I'm so interested now in not going over, what the Express said, but what actually David Lammy himself has said. So we're going to actually read his press release that he's released through the British government, through the Foreign Office, about resetting the relationship with Europe. And this is what I've talked about since day one of, when you get a new Labour government, there is going to be a dramatic shift in relations. And this, honestly, is for the very, very, very much better in our relationship. So it's worth rereading through this and really understanding, once again, the direction that David Lammy sort of wants to take the UK in a foreign policy direction. So overall, I am very, very happy about this direction. I know there's a lot of people saying, oh, David Lammy saying we're not going to rejoin the single market and customs union, but that's fine. At the moment, we're going in another direction, which I've said before, that, Labour can turn around and say, well, actually, we've done everything we can to, fix Brexit and do Brexit the best we can, but this is it. Are you sure you really want to go in this direction? Honestly, seems like we are going in that direction. I've said many times before, in this parliament, we are going to have new conversations. In fact, conversations we should have had years ago, but were blocked because of the Conservatives, because of like the hardcore Brexit ultras. Well, guess what? Many of them lost their seats. There's still a couple of them left, of course. But those conversations we are actually going to be able to have. There isn't the European Scrutiny Committee going to be blocking, expert witnesses and testimony testifying, what's been going on down at the border and so forth, or, stopping businesses coming forward and saying, well, actually, you guys are causing huge problems for my businesses, So new things, new stuff to generally look forward to. And this is really a massive, massive step in the right direction. So I've been going on long enough. Let's get on to what David Lammy himself has said. So before we do get onto this, of course, as always, please click on the like, the share button. Down below, there's the Patreon page, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link, there's the YouTube thank you button, and of course, as always, there is the Pony Club down below as well. This week, of course, the 100th episode. I still don't know what I'm going to do with it at this point, but hey, there you go. So, as always, let's crack on into this. Like I say, this is actually from the government's official website. So, this article has obviously been written by David Lammy, who is now the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. So, let's see what he has had to say. So, I am a man of multiple identities, a Londoner, English, patriotic Brit, proud of my Caribbean heritage, a transatlanticist, and a and thoughtful of my throughout my political career, I've absolutely been committed to a close partnership with our European neighbours. So, as a new British Foreign Secretary with our Prime Minister Keir Starmer, this government will reset relations with Europe as a reliable partner, a dependable ally, and a good neighbour. And that, ladies and gentlemen, fundamentally is a good thing for us. Like the fact that we've got someone who is actually setting that out. We're going to be a reliable partner, dependable ally, and a good neighbor. What have we been hearing from the EU? That they cannot trust, that conservative government. Hence, it has been incredibly difficult for the Conservatives to get anything done when it came to this. But now you've got someone who is setting out their stall going, we are going to be a reliable partner for Europe. That alone is just a completely different, breath of fresh air. Like, just fundamentally, that is an amazing thing for Lammy to actually come out and say. So he continues. This is why I am traveling immediately to some of our key European partners, sitting down with Annalisa Bedrock, Roderick Sarkozy, and Tobias Brinstom. And my message will be simple. Let us seize the opportunity for a reset, working even more closely together to tackle shared challenges. What have I been saying for the past couple of months? We and Europe have exactly the same of a lot of shared challenges, and we need to work together on a lot of them to get this done. This is as progressive, I think, as you can get. That countries are going to sit down, negotiate, and they're going to sort of tackle shared problems together. The most immediate of these challenges, of course, is Ukraine. And, of course, still very worried about the election of Donald Trump. It's not 100%, as I've said. It's not 50%. I think it's 30%. But if Donald Trump gets in, Europe is really going to have to really step up its game in a serious, major way. But back to this. So we will stand by the brave people of Ukraine and defend their freedom against Vladimir Putin's form of new fascism. British military, economic, political, and diplomatic support for Ukraine will remain ironclad. And I think that was another important thing, that when you have a change of government, that when you have a situation like this going on in Ukraine, where we have said, where we have been providing them support and weapons, etc., I think that is very, very important for David Lammy to go out there and say, our support for you is ironclad. That, I think, has reaffirmed sort of our friendship and our commitment to Ukraine. And I'm very, very happy to see David Lammy sort of say that. But then again, he's always been very good sort of on Ukraine. So there you go. But we are always stronger when we work together with others. Germany, Poland, and Sweden are also our very staunch supporters of Ukraine. European security will be this government's foreign and defense priority. Thank you on that for saying that. I think that's very interesting, where he says, European security will be this government's foreign and defense priority. So we can probably see, if not in the near future, sort of a European defense pact. Ursula von der Leyen has said that was what she ran on in her, in her manifesto, what her party ran on. And she even said in that, we can't leave the UK out of that they should be involved in that as well. So that is something we'll probably see, maybe not almost immediately straight away. Like I say, in October, I know things are going to sort of change in the commission, so that's going to be sort of sorted out. But again, there will be something down the line. So we'll continue. Russia's barbaric invasion has now made it very clear for the need for us to do more to strengthen our own defenses. Next week, the Prime Minister, the Defense Secretary, and I will travel to Washington for the NATO summit. 75 years ago, my political hero and former Labour Foreign Secretary, Ernest Bevin, was pivotal in forming this alliance. He would have been delighted to see NATO grow larger over the years, with Germany, Poland, and now Sweden joining all of the most successful defensive alliance in history. Well worth pointing out, well worth mentioning. So I'm glad he's really sort of affirming our commitments to NATO there. The government's commitment to the alliance is unshakable, just as it was in Bevan's time. I will be discussing this weekend how NATO allies can go even further in investing in our tightly connected defense industries and providing Ukraine with its own path to joining our alliance. Two things there immediately springing out. First of all, tightly connected defense industries. Yes, they are incredibly tightly connected. That is incredibly true. That is incredibly true. So this is where we could see defense packs after this become economic, security necessities, not only for our own defense, but also to Europe as well. So this is absolutely something we could see again further down the line. So everything I've been talking about is where David Lammy is in the direction that he wants to go. And that, as I said, breath of fresh air. New day dawning in British politics. But anyway, we continue. Also, they're talking about providing Ukraine with a clear path to joining the alliance. We cannot stress enough that after this is over, Ukraine should be in NATO, should absolutely be in NATO. One thing the Ukrainians have said very, very clearly over the past couple of years, we want to be in NATO so that this war can never happen again, because Russia would never dare tangle with us if we are in NATO. So that I am really, really glad to see David Lammy also being a priority for him as well. But anyway, alongside security, we also need to do more together to bring more prosperity to our continent. Again, fantastic message to be sort of sending to Europe. None of us can address the urgency of the climate emergency alone. We need coordinated global action. Absolutely. Absolutely on that front. David Lammy's going to be such a good foreign secretary. He really is. This is particularly important in Europe, whose energy networks are now very closely connected. Together, we must now invest in industries of the future to deliver sustainable economic growth for all. Again, fantastic message to be saying. And finally, we must do more to champion our ties between our people and our culture. Holidays, family ties, schools, and exchange and student exchanges, the arts. Very interesting that he's saying that, given, of course, how much the arts have suffered because of Boris Johnson's Brexit agreement. I think you are seeing right there, you are seeing other things that David Lammy would like to achieve. I mean, holidays, family ties, school and student exchanges, the arts, sports. I think David Lammy is saying exactly there. We want to achieve more with Europe. We want to sort of do that. And that's why you said, you saw Germany saying, at least, their foreign office, when they sort of put out their own response to this, said, yeah, we want to look at how we can get the UK into alignment with the EU. That is fantastic. That is a fantastic step in the direction for his people who are pro EU. So, hey, that's why the right-wing press are freaking out over all this. Because once again, when you show that Britain working with the EU is good and good for the economy, then, as we always said, you get to the question of, well, okay, if this is working good for the economy, why shouldn't we then be working closer with each other? And then this starts obviously asking more questions, and then you will eventually end up with the ultimate question: why did we do Brexit in the first place? What was the point of it? So we are going in a very, very good direction on this. But back to this. So in sports, I will of course be cheering on England in the Euros. Thanks to this, our citizens benefit from a rich diversity of our continent. We can deliver more cooperation in many areas bilaterally via NATO and in groupings like the G7 and the Joint Expeditionary Force of the European Political Community, who will also be gathering at Buckingham Palace on the 18th of July. This is, of course, Macron's other European thing. We'll see how that this plays out. But again, I think it will also be very, very good for us to be involved with as well. But if we are to fill our ambitions for a reset, we must also improve Britain's relationship with the European Union. Again, good he's saying this as well. I will be expecting. I will be explaining to my new fellow foreign ministers how our new government's proposal for an ambitious, broad-ranging UK-EU security pact would now underpin closer cooperation between us, enshrining a new geopolitical partnership. I also look forward to hearing their ideas of how we can rebuild trust and restart the relationship between the UK and the EU. Again, very, very, very good things to say. Very good things to say on all that. Over the centuries, our individual national stories have all come together to tell a wider story of our shared progress. Today, we will now share a commitment to the democracy, human rights, and international law. Tragic experiences in our continent's shared past have all helped us to understand how our shared security and prosperity defended on these shared values. And I believe that these values will offer a foundation for a closer partnership in the future. My visit this weekend is now just the beginning. I look forward to seeing Britain reconnect with our European neighbours in the years ahead. Marks out of 10, 10. 10, honestly, 10. 10 points there, honestly, for David Lammy. Everything I was hoping he would say. Reaffirming our commitment to Ukraine, reaffirming the importance of NATO, saying, we are going to continue supporting Ukraine. We're going to sort of make sure that, you get in NATO. We are going to sort of make sure that there's a path for you to join NATO. That is very good for them to say. Again, really working together closely with other allies, reaching with sort of stuff for the EU, talking about being a reliable partner, working together, rebuilding trust. Everything I wanted David Lammy to say in a sort of first speech thing. And bear in mind, this has gone down from what we have seen so far. Overwhelmingly, this has gone down overwhelmingly good with, different European foreign ministries. And even in the EU as well, this has gone down very well as well. So I am very, very pleased about this. This is setting us on a very, very good direction in the future, especially for these types of relations, which are very, very important to the UK. So, exactly, honestly, what I wanted. So, like I say, please do leave a comment down below on what you think as well. But I think this is incredibly, incredibly good and sets out, I think, a very, very good direction for our future when it comes to sort of foreign policy and our relations with Europe. And that will lead to other good things down the road as well. And as we've always said, our path to the EU, or at least going back into the EU, is guaranteed. It is not a matter of if, it is just a matter of when. So this happening now sets a very good, I think, direction of travel. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, as always, down below there are links to my Patreon page, the Buy Me Coffee link where you can buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, as always, there is the Pony Club down below as well. And until then, we'll see you all next time.